What it do, peeps? It's Daxani. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is another Draw This in Your Style video because my imagination seems to be out of service. Although, I will say that this isn't just any Draw This in Your Style video. Well, it kind of is, but one of my favorite artists that I've been following for about a year or so is celebrating her reach of 8,000 Instagram followers on Instagram by hosting a DTIY challenge. DTIY meaning draw this in your style. That's how I'm gonna say it from now on because I'm tired of saying draw this in your style. It just seems so long and my mouth gets dry and I'm exhausted. Anyways, yes, a DTIY. As for this favorite artist of mine, she goes by Lucid Neema on her social medias. I'll go ahead and post her links to her YouTube account and her Instagram account down below in the description box as usual. So I advise you to go check her out, in case you're looking for a new artist to check out. Please go look at her stuff. I think she's amazing, and besides from her artwork, I think her as a human being seems very genuine and kind. So if you are looking for that as well, I suggest that you go check her out. The character she put up is one of her OCs named Cora, who is a lovely alien character. And I could have gone the portrait route of drawing this, but I said, not today, basic gods, not today. I saw an opportunity to challenge myself pose-wise, and of course, hands. We need lots of practice on hands because, hands are our enemy when it comes to drawing. But, one day I shall complete and conquer it and it'll be easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. I don't know, does anyone even say that anymore? I don't think so. Oh well. For this drawing, I didn't want to do the exact pose as she did. However, this motivated me to try another floating pose. I looked through Pinterest and typed floating pose references, and I combined a lot that I saw, and then I had to reference one of the hands in Loish's artwork. As for the other hand, I kind of just used my own, and I was basically winging it of what that hand should look like from that distance, and I'm talking about the right hand. The left hand is a reference from one of Loish's artworks, and the one on the right, I was kind of winging it. I was like, let me just reference one hand, and then maybe I can somewhat kind of replicate it, maybe in a slightly different pose with the other hand. It was just mostly experimenting, which I think was pretty good. I love it. I just need to, I guess, just learn the basic stuff, like the basic shapes of how to make hands, of how to draw hands versus trying to guess. And that's what I'm kind of doing, and I kind of don't want to guess most of the time. I use my own hand as reference. I use other references on Pinterest when drawing hands, but sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to look up stuff and I don't want to use my own hand. So I end up guessing, which is not all that great, but hey, it's something. As long as we're tackling the hand, I think it says something. At least I'm trying. So, but I think both hands here turned out pretty great. The sketch alone took about maybe a little bit over an hour. Sometimes it takes me about 30 minutes to do a sketch, sometimes less. And it depends on what I'm doing. Whether, if it's a portrait, sometimes it'll take me about 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends on what I want to be in it, how I want it, the pose, and how much of the body I'm doing. So being that this is from the head to the knees, this took a little bit longer, and then especially because I'm not great at anatomy. I suck with anatomy, which is one of the reasons why I chose to do her draw this in your style, your DTIY, because it was challenging and it put me out of my comfort zone. And honestly, the character itself, Cora, she is gorgeous, she's beautiful, so it made me want to draw it. Now, if this was a character that didn't really catch my eye, it didn't catch my attention, then I wouldn't have done it. Regardless of the fact that, you know, it had a pose that was something different for me. The character itself has to really catch my eye. And what I really loved about this, about Lucid Neema's character, were the colors. I like the color combination, the pink skin, the yellow shorts, the yellow and purple top, and then even the little antennas. But it was different, it was unique. It was a little odd for me to draw, and but it was fun. You know, I enjoyed the coloring process more than I did the sketch process this time around. Drawing clothing alone, like, I think I'm able to like draw clothing, like, for example, if I'm doing a DIY, it's easier for me to draw clothing because, you know, it's because that whoever's hosting it, that's the character that I'm redrawing, of course, and that is basically my reference. But as far as like coming up with clothing on my own is kind of hard. Like, even if I do look up references, it's still hard for me. Like, I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet, and I think it's also because the fact that I'm still trying to learn and understand how anatomy works, and I feel like you can't really draw clothes on your characters until you really understand anatomy, because then you have to figure out, you know, if your character has a certain body shape, you know, depending on what you want your character to wear, but, you know, like the type of shirt, the shirt should have this type of increase in the shirt, even like with the pants, you know, how tight you want your pants to be on your character or how loose you want your pants to be on your character. It all depends, and I've been kind of slowly practicing clothing on my own, and it's hard, it's annoying, so, you know, one step at a time. But of course, I'm really thankful for these DIYs because it's amazing that I get to do it as practice. Everything that I do within a DIY is all practice. It's beneficial for me, you know, and it keeps me out of my comfort zone. You know, of course, there are tons of DIYs that are within the comfort zone, but I figured the point is to try to get out of your comfort zone. I want to talk a little bit about my line art for a minute. I prefer seeing my characters with line art. However, a part of me does want to experiment with lineless art because lately I've been following artists that do draw characters that have lineless, or that are lineless, and, you know, it looks gorgeous. I think it looks great, you know, and then especially when it comes to the Disney fan art, and that artwork is lineless type of art. It's just so elegant looking. But I think the reason why I'm feeling that way is because, like, I don't have that special tool in Photoshop that I'm using to make my lines automatically, like, you know, they look smooth, versus, like, since I don't have that tool, sometimes my line art appears quite shaky, you know, and I don't know why that is. It just, you know, I just can't get a nice looking line. But if I had that tool, then, you know what, it would be awesome. My line art would have been great. I'm trying to save up for an iPad Pro because that way I can learn how to do Procreate, because Procreate has that tool that I'm talking about, and that's kind of like one of the reasons why I want, you know, Procreate. And yeah, I can get it on my phone, but also I want to be able to do digital art on the go. Like, yes, I love traditional. It's great. It's awesome. Fantastic. It never gets old, honestly. And it's just more convenient, I guess, because you don't have to rely on charging a paper sketchbook versus an iPad Pro. But of course, my love is with digital art, and the goal is an iPad Pro and practicing with Procreate. So in the future, that will be a thing. It'll be great. This channel will be awesome. It'll still be awesome. This channel is currently awesome with or without an iPad Pro, but I'm just really eager for it, and I'm excited to buy it when the time comes. So as for the petals, I wanted to do something that'll kind of, I guess, make them stand out. So of course, you know, we colored it, we outlined it, but I wanted them to kind of look somewhat magical by giving them a glow. But however, I wanted to keep a somewhat of a light background. I was like, at first I was like, okay, we are going to go with an all-white background, you know, so that way it's, you know, stays pretty close to Lucid Neema's. But then, like, when I was like, no, but I want the flowers to glow, and normally if you want to show something glowing, you kind of have to have like a dark environment or dark background, so that way you can actually see the magical glow. So for the background, I basically went with this off-white. And I don't mean like a cream color, it's maybe like a very light purple grayish type of light color that I used for the background. I didn't want to go with like a blue background, I didn't want to go with the purple or pink background, and I felt like a very, very, very light color background would fit it entirely. But if I were to like kind of darken it just like a little bit, then you would be able to see the glow, which you see right now. So I think it was a success. I think I was able to capture the glow just as well. It's not too bad, it's not too shabby. And then of course I did the shadowing and added highlights where it didn't make sense where the light source was coming from, because there was no light source. But it's okay, the highlights are banging either way. Actually, I'll go ahead and take that back. There is a light source. It's in the direction where she's looking, but still, you know, I went ahead and added highlights in the shadowy places, but it's okay. Highlights are bomb. Alright peeps, Lucid Neema's on the left and mine is on the right. I really had fun with this. I think it's decent, yes. Is there room for improvement? Always. But if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. Don't feel obligated to, it's only a suggestion. Thank you all for listening, thanks for watching, and I shall chat with you soon in the next video. Bye!